Am I the only one who thinks that you just need to have a license when you go and vote? And that maybe if you're voting absentee, like there should be some kind of check system. We got enough technology out there, right? Where they compare and contrast your social security number maybe with your license and check you off on a box so that we can avoid any kind of even perception of this stuff. Anyway, Donald Trump, that's the headline, straight from the New York Times and a Siena poll as well, is ahead in 5 of 6 swing states. We're talking Nevada. We're talking Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania. He's just almost there in Wisconsin. And like he's ahead by a lot. In Nevada, by a 52% margin. In Georgia, it's 49-43. In Arizona, it's 49-44. In Michigan, 48-43. And in Pennsylvania, 48-44. I mean, we're talking about significant margins, all right? 4, 5, 6 points. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of worry. Like I said, over at ABC, which produces The View, they're like, this can't happen. How could this be happening? Meanwhile, here's ABC News kind of freaking out. One of their correspondents saying this should be a giant wake-up call. Huh? You think? You think maybe that Biden just can't pull this off?
Poll out this morning showing that Donald Trump is leading in 5 of the states. Big battleground states. Now, presidents have come back in the past, Ronald Reagan, Barack Obama, but this is tough news for Joe Biden.
Look, this is a wake-up call. This is frightening for not just the Biden White House, not just for Democrats, but for anybody who fears what a return to a Trump presidency would mean. He can win. The New York Times poll is not the first one to say this. He can win. It is early, and the biggest challenge for Biden is it's not just that people have suddenly fallen in love with the idea of Trump going back to the White House. They haven't. It's that only 23% of the country in our poll thinks the country is on the right track.
Voters don't seem too fazed by the fact that Donald Trump has been indicted so many times, but a conviction could make a difference.
Look, it really could. I mean, we'll see. But I mean, the idea of voting for somebody that's under investigation, even somebody who's been indicted, is one thing. Voting for a convicted felon is another thing entirely.
Donald Trump already planning for another term.
I mean, it's just incredible. I don't think that voters have come to terms with what he is talking about doing. He is talking about a campaign of revenge and retribution. There was a fascinating story that is consistent with my reporting in the Washington Post, talking about how he wants to go out and prosecute his political opponents, not just Democrats, but people that served him. John Kelly is.
Okay, so like, oh my gosh, he's going to do that. But I'm sorry, has that not already sort of happened? Like, hey, like, what do you think's been going on for the last 2 years? What do you think Biden's been doing, ladies and gentlemen, but going after his number one enemy, which would be Donald Trump, right? We're talking over and over and over again. I mean, this is, I'm sorry, but like it's starting to look a lot like election interference. You consider what's going on with Letitia James in New York City. Wow. And getting the kids in there and everything. They have to testify. That can work both ways, because I'm going to tell you about a story. We're just getting some breaking news in right now on James Comer is demanding, subpoenaing like more than 20 members of the Biden family. So like I said, it can go both ways. We can go full on banana republic. Here we are. I will say this in Trump's defense. I remember asking him once in a conversation why it was that he hadn't gone after Hillary Clinton. He kind of had this view that, well, we're still the United States of America. In other words, he was still drinking the Kool-Aid at the time, right? We're the United States of America. We shouldn't really do that. Well, let's just say that the Democrats were not extending the same favor, right, to him. So he's probably going to win if they run Biden. I mean, I don't see how he wouldn't, just looking at all of this data. And it's not necessarily that people love him. It's just they're so disgusted by the direction in which our country is heading.